All right, prop the mic here. PTM coming to you before Game 4 of the NBA Finals, Friday, June 9th, 2023. You excited, Dave?
Very excited. I enjoyed Game 3 from the perspective of a fan, but not from the perspective of a bettor.
Hmm.
We were leaning heavy on a lot of the role players, and it was all about the stars. What did we have? We had Jokic obviously put up a monster game, 32 points, 21 rebounds, 10 assists. Murray, 34, 10, and 10. So both of them had a triple double, which I think is the
Crazy.
first time that's ever happened in a
Wonder what
playoff
the
game. I
odds were on that parlay.
think. Gordon actually played pretty well. He was the other player on the Nuggets that stood out, right, with
Yeah,
11 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists.
cashed
Um,
on that one.
we did. That was a good one.
Yeah,
Christian Brown, who I want to call Braun, and so do all the announcers. They can't get over the fact that it's pronounced Braun or
yeah,
Brown, but he had a pretty good game with 15 points, a lot of energy for the Nuggets.
yes, sir.
Um, and then on the Heat side, it was basically just the Butler and Bam show, right? Butler had
Yeah,
28 points, and Bam had a huge game, 22, 17, and 3. So it was really, with the exception of maybe Christian Brown, it was basically all the stars that, put up big numbers.
yeah, amazing for Jokic, 21 rebounds, and Bam 17. It was
I
a
know. I know.
lot of rebounds.
Bam kept stealing all those rebounds from Love in the first quarter. It was driving me
Yeah.
nuts. But anyway, so all right, so we thought the Nuggets would win. They won. Let's start with the game. Game 4. Do you think this series is just over, just a matter of time at this point, or do you think the Heat have a shot?
I'm leaning towards the series is over. I think Denver's just too high powered for Miami here, and unless you get one of these like high shooting variance games that Miami's just knocking down everything, I think that's the only way really that they can they have a chance here. I like Denver in 5. I think.
Yeah. I mean, the line though opened up at I don't know what it opened up at, but currently it's the Heat getting 3 points again. So
I
it's
love that. That might Denver might like. There's no reason Denver should have gone from whatever they were -9 in game 2 at home then to -3.5. I thought I just love that, and that cashed no problem last night. That was a nice one.
Yeah, usually the home court gets you like a 3 point
Yeah,
value, so it's a 6 point swing. So I guess that's where that came from. But still, just after watching last night's game, it's hard to imagine the Heat will win this one. But we'll see. They're the Heat. They've done some
they have. They have.
major things this year. So all right, so let's dive into the player props. Who do you want to start with? I'll let you choose today.
You'll let me choose. Let's start with Denver.
Okay, let's go with Nuggets. So who do you like here?
All right. Going back to he absolutely crushed last night. He was the guy we thought he would crush all series long. Going back to Jokic, over 12.5 rebounds, -135. He had 21 last night, game 3. This is what we expected from him, right? I don't see why. If you look at how the postseason's gone, he's had a couple of these, lulls where like the rebounds took a dip. Like go back to the Minnesota series, 2 games of 11 and 11, but then he reeled off a 17, 19, 16, 17. Going to the LA series, he had a 10 and a 13, but then a 21 and a 17. So I expect another big rebounding game. It just makes sense. He was grabbing everything. Everything was like bouncing his way. He was just getting one rebound after another, and I think it continues in game 4.
What did he have 11 or 12 at halftime? I'm trying to remember.
I think 12, I want to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his line, remember, we advised looking at his line for the second half that he's basically gotten 7+ rebounds in every game against the Heat this year in the second
Yeah.
half. So they did set the line at 18 and a half. They were projecting 7 as well, and he put up an additional 9. So that's another way to play it too. Go, regardless of what he puts up in the first half, if it's a semi-close game, maybe the second half is a good opportunity.
Yep.
And I'll tell you why also, what's really unique is he's basically playing the entire second half, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like usually in a normal game, even a normal playoff game, he will play till about the 9-minute mark, I think, in the third quarter,
Mm-hmm.
rest a little bit, and then come back in maybe 3-4 minutes into the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Here, he's playing through the
whole
third quarter.
Yeah.
And then a lot of times they're leaving him in to start the fourth to try to put the game away. But if the Heat push back, he ends up staying for the entire fourth quarter. So I still like any sort of second half prop on Jokic rebounds as well.
All right. Very nice.
All right, cool. Anything else on the big man, or we're moving on?
That was it for Jokic.
Okay. How about Murray? You got anything on Murray?
The only thing I have on Murray here, I mean, he's been great 10 assists, right, in 3 straight games. Pretty crazy. So I think his assist line's up to 7.5. It was 5.5 for a long time, and 6.5. So the only one I had, I thought Jokic Murray 25 plus points each parlay was plus 105. I thought that was nice. It's really the only play that I had in the two of them. Murray's like minus 150, I think, for that. Something like that. It's Jokic that's like the minus 500. But Murray's done it in 9 of his last 11 games. Jokic 10 of his last 12. So that was the only play I had on Murray, pairing him up with Jokic here, 25 points each.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play that, you might as well just play Murray.
Just play Murray, yeah. I guess
right,
so.
25.5 is his line, minus 125.
Oh, it is 25. I thought it was 26.5.
It might have come down. I mean, he's done that in 7 of his last 10, and the reason why he got hooked in one of them at 25. So, yeah, I'm just I feel like we might be overthinking. 7.5 assists seems like a really big number for him because he's only done it in 7 out of 18 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
39% hit rate, not very good. If you look at the full season, he's got a 31% hit rate. So this is just atypical for him, but he is, I don't know if he's just got a good matchup against them or he's just playing at a different gear, but 3 straight games with 10 assists. How do we not play 7.5 assists?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think it's, he's seeing a lot of Jimmy Butler defense and like all these switches. So it's creating more. I think 6 of those assists were to Jokic for Jokic points there. So, it probably doesn't change. You're probably right. We probably shouldn't overthink this and just be happy with the 7.5. I think I'm leaning that way as well.
It's a lot for him. It's way higher than the season average, but just seems.
But look at
like,
it was kind of like Caleb Martin in the Boston series, right? I mean, he averaged 9 points a game, but he just whatever it was, the matchup, he got hot. That's what it was, and all of a sudden he's his line was 15.5 points, and he was putting up 20-point game after another. So
yeah, and this is one of those that the longer you wait, it started at minus 120. I think it's creeping up already. So if you are going to play it, lock it in sooner rather than later because it'll probably move up to 8.5.
Yeah, I see it's at minus 140 already.
Right. So just a couple hours ago it was at minus 120.
Yeah.
Okay, so who else do you like from the Nuggets?
All right, we cashed on Gordon last night, 11 points, 5 rebounds. It was minus 110 last night. You can still get it for minus 115, so I'm going back to the well on that one. 11 points. He's done in 13 of 18 playoff games, 5 rebounds, 14 of 18 playoff games. I'm not going to try to reinvent the wheel here. Going back to this one again. You like?
Yeah. What do you think about playing that at 6 rebounds instead of 5?
Yeah, I think you can for sure. What did you have? 10 last night?
Yeah, 10 rebounds. Yeah. And I kind of even if you don't want to do a parlay, I even like his straight up 6.5 rebounds. Was minus 115 earlier today. I don't know where it's sitting right now.
Yeah, I think it's still. I see 6.5 minus 115.
Yeah, so I think that's good value too. I think he's just like nobody can stop that guy. Like on the Heat. So.
He's a beast.
Okay, cool, very good. Who else?
MPJ. You doing it? I know you're not going to like it.
You're swimming upstream. If
Here
you
we
play
go.
MPJ,
Right, I'm going to lay it out for you. Okay. So I thought despite his fairly poor night, right? His minutes are down. I think he only had 2 points. Was not great. But in the second half, I think specifically in the third quarter, he was making like a lot of like good effort, like energy type plays, which kind of leads you to believe like, he had a big offensive rebound, I think over Strus for a putback that I think maybe didn't go in and then Jokic cleaned it up. But like, for somebody who's got his playing time cut, I thought he was playing like, somebody who, was still in the game, still like, on board with his team. I like the energy he was showing. I think he figured out some stuff on how to be effective here in the series. So I like his rebound line is back down to 6.5, and it's so tasty to me. It's plus 120. If you remember going back to game 1, he had 13 rebounds in game 1.
He did. Yeah,
he had 7 last night in only 21 minutes. In a poor game for him. Like, I think so I like the rebounds. I also like the points. I think he's just too good of a shooter to continue to miss like this. I think also, he doesn't always have to rely all on the 3. He's been somewhat of a slasher in his career, and I think that the success that Christian Brown had as a slasher, in that role last night, put up 15 points. I think he can look to that and see other ways that he can be, effective for Denver here in this series. So I also like his points at 10.5. It's minus 104, even money for MPJ, 10.5 points. I could see his minutes, ticking back up here. I just liked what I saw from him in the second half of the game. So
Yeah, well, hopefully he didn't blink because he only played 8 minutes in the second half. So
they went with their defensive unit. Yeah, I mean they were with the two Browns out there.
Yeah,
but for when he was in, I thought he was playing with good energy. I thought so. I kind of liked what I saw.
yeah, no, especially on the rebounding side. In those 8 minutes, he put up 4 rebounds. That's
exactly.
That's Kevin Love rates right there. And in the first half, he only played 13 minutes and he had 3 rebounds. I think all of which came in the first quarter. So yeah, I'm scared of his points just because
I like the rebounds play better for sure. Yeah.
And the rebound play right now, I don't know what you had it at before, but right now it's plus money, plus 120 for 6.5 rebounds.
6.5 rebounds, plus 120. Yeah.
Now, if that keeps crawling down, I like 6 rebounds even better. So if you end up getting 6 rebounds for like minus 120, that's a really good value. So keep an eye on that one. I think that's a good play. I think there's a lot of negative sentiment around him, so I think he's a good value play.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What about our guy KCP? So last night we played him for 3 rebounds and 1 3. He got the 3 rebounds, but he just missed wide open 3 after 3 after 3, wide open shots. So I'm going to go back to him just on 3 rebounds because when we presented it yesterday, 3 rebounds alone was minus 150 something.
Mm-hmm.
When you layered in the 1 3, it got down to minus 119. Today, this opened up 3 rebounds was minus 130. So if it's still sitting there, I think that's really good value. He's done this in 9 of 12 games when he plays 30 plus minutes. Remember, he played only 28 minutes last night, 12 in the first half. He did end up with a couple quick fouls, and I think that's why he came out a little earlier than normal. But he played 16 minutes in the second half. So again, once they need defense, he goes out there. So I expect him to get back up to 30 plus minutes. He's got a 75% hit rate. He's also cleared 3 rebounds in 8 of his last 9 games. So at minus 130, I think that's tremendous value. But I think you were on his points. Is that right?
Yeah, I think this is another sort of buy low opportunity here. I think it seems like this series, like just nothing's gone his way this series, right? But like you said, I think he's still going to play big minutes. And I think, he had some open shots. Like those are normally shots that he knocks down. I think, with some of the adjustments Miami might make, you might get some nice, some nice mid-range looks. If you take out this series, he's cleared this in 12 of 15 in the playoffs, 7.5 points, minus 113. I know it was like the opposite of what we were saying before game 3, where we're like, KCP we were on, MPJ we were, it was a wait and see approach. But I don't know, I feel like these are 2 good buy low spots here for both of these guys.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, our main plays are Jokic, Murray, and Gordon, right? Those are our staples. Yeah. And then, these role players are good value buys right now. Yes. So I think that's good. Yeah. I like that a lot. I think he's like, I think guys like MPJ who historically are not defensive players, but offensive players, those are the guys that are going to get yanked out of the game if they're not performing offensively. Yeah. Right. And they could become a defensive liability. Guys like KCP who have some offensive skills, but are really defensive players, they have a good chance of staying in the game regardless of the situation. So I think those are good plays for sure. Yeah. All right.
I had
who else?
2 others. So sticking with KCP here, I liked a little. I was so disappointed last night. Brown had like these. He ended up with 3 blocks in the game, but like initially his first one was ruled a steal. It was kind of like this strip steal block that was like ended up. It's just how the scorer decides to do it. It can kind of go either way. So that's one of the reasons why I mentioned before going with steals and blocks if it is available. But I thought KCP and Brown to have 1 steal each was a nice play here at plus 130. KCP 14 for 18 this postseason. He had 1 steal each in games 1 and 2. Didn't have one in game 3, so I would look for him to bounce back here. Brown 13 for 18 this postseason. He had 1 and 2 in games 1 and 2. Didn't have a steal. Probably should have. Did have 3 blocks in game 3. So So I like that. And then also if you wanted to just do Brown straight up, I liked his steal and blocks. So over 1.5 steals and blocks is plus 125. He had 3 and 2 in each of his last 2 games. In 6 career games in Miami, when he's played 13 plus minutes, so that knocks out 2 early career games in Detroit. He's had 11 steals and blocks in 6 career games in Miami. I'm going to ride this again because it didn't cash last night, and we're going to see if we can get it to hit tonight.
Yeah, I like the historicals. Just to play devil's advocate, the Heat had 4 turnovers in the whole game. So,
wow.
So that scares me a little bit. That is the one thing they've been doing well, is they've been protecting the ball. So if the team turns the ball over 4 times, there's not a lot of steals to go around.
No. That seems abnormally low, though, no?
Yes and no. I think in this series, they've been really good at protecting the ball. And the Nuggets were in other games, but last night I think they had 10 plus turnovers. So Yeah, so the Heat did a really good job. I think it was the only reason why they were even staying in the game is they weren't turning the ball over. So just play that one, maybe a smaller unit play just because there's not a lot of options, especially when you're looking for a parlay.
Yeah, correct.
All right, cool. Anybody else?
That was it. No, that's it for the Denver. Yeah.
Let's go to the Heat side. Who are you starting with there?
So I had him last night. I don't know if I'm going to kick myself for going back here, but Jimmy Butler points again. It's gone up. We had it at 24.5 yesterday. Now it's 26.5, minus 115. But he did have 28 in game 3, and that was on 11 for 24 shooting. But if you watch the game, he had several good looks that just he didn't knock it down. I think in a normal night, he probably should have been closer to 14 or 15 for 24 rather than 11 for 24 last night. So if he was, if 3 or 4 more of those fell, now you're looking at, he put up 34, 36 points last night. So I don't mind the increase here. Just given those looks that he had, I feel like he should have been in the 30s last night. And I think in this do or die sort of game here in Miami, I would look for him to repeat that.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I can't believe I didn't tail your play yesterday. I mean, he's just such a great play with 40 plus minutes. He really has a very good hit rate at the 24.5. But I still, this is the whole season on the line. I can't see him not shooting the ball a lot. Okay, so starting with that star, how about Bam? What do you think about him?
I know he did have a monster game. I didn't end up. I mean, I think we were on his assist last night. He only got to the to 3. Now he didn't clear the 3.5. I still like that. I think that's still a good play, even though that was the one that he didn't hit of the points and rebounds. He did clear on both of those, but I don't know. What'd you have for Bam?
Yeah, I also like the 3.5 assists. He had, I think something like 9 potential assists or something like that in the game.
That many. Huh.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the 3-point shots that he would kick out weren't falling and things like that. So I think that'll change next game. So I think 3.5 assists is a good play. He's hit that in 6 of 8 games in which he plays 40 plus minutes. Mm-hmm. He's going to play 40 minutes next game. Yeah. Again, he's only played 40 minutes, 8 games this season. Alternatively, if you're worried about the 3.5 assists and you want to take it down to 3 assists, you could do a parlay: 9 rebounds, 3 assists, minus 125 on DK. Again, looking at games with 40 plus minutes, he's cleared this in 7 out of 8 games when he's played 40 plus minutes as parlay. So, and the rebounds, it was the one that he missed. He did that in 7 out of 8. The assists, he's done this in all 8 games with 40 plus minutes. So 3 assists is super safe. So either do the parlay or 3.5 assists. I think they both.
Yeah, it seems to make sense. He's got to play 40, 42 minutes in this game, right? They have no other choice but to play him those big minutes. I mean, every game. Well, I guess in game 2 he played 39, but other than that, he hasn't played below 42 in the last 6 games. So
yeah exactly. Okay, who else do you like?
I looked at Strus over 2.5 assists. I like the plus money, plus 125. He's what did he have? He had 5 and 4, I believe. Where am I looking? Oh no, right here. Strus this series 5, 6, and 3, and then even when they played Denver back in February, he had 4 in that series. So I like Strus here on the assist. It just seems to be matchup wise. I don't know. He's not knocking down his threes, but the assist total seemed to be quite high. Another little parlay that I thought was interesting for this, because I don't know if you noticed, Aaron Gordon had 5 assists last night.
He did.
Mm-hmm. You can do a Strus 2 assists and Gordon 2 assists parlay for minus 110. I thought that was really nice. Strus is this series, like I just said, 5, 6, 3, and then 4 in that February. And then Gordon has done this in 9 of his last 10 this postseason. And this series 5-2, and the only game he didn't was game 1. He only had 1 assist, but he was so dominant offensively in that game that he wasn't really looking to dish the ball.
Yeah, no, that's good. I think Strus is getting a bad rap because he's inconsistent shooting, but he is doing other things. I liked his RA, which was actually plus money, 5.5 RA, plus 104. Again, nice. Just like the assist. 8, and 9 RA this series. So you can do that. You can come up with some sort of a parlay between assists and rebounds. That's another option, but something related to assists and rebounds for Strus, I think, is a good play.
Nice. Right. Yeah, I'm looking there as well. What else you got?
The other shooter, Gabe Vincent. So listen to this. In the playoffs, he's averaging 9.2 points at home and 16 on the road.
Yeah. We
did call that out. His point line, I think, was at 13.5 yesterday. He ended up putting up, what did he score? 7 points in 32 minutes on 2 for 10 shooting, of which he went 1 for 6 from 3-point line. So the volume was there, right? If he hit 2 more threes, he would have gotten 13 at least. But I'm not buying totally into this home away split because I look at the last series, the 3 home games that they played against Boston, 29 points, 17 points, and 15 points. So I like that recent trend. I also like that he played 32 plus minutes. When you look at Strus, who's the other shooter on the team, he only played 24, 25 minutes.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Vincent plays 30 plus minutes regardless of the game situation because he also handles the ball. So I think he's a good play. I think he got the volume to clear the line. We get it 1 point lower than last game, from 13.5 down to 12.5. And we also go from, I think, minus 135 down to minus 125. Guy's going to have a good game. He's going to hit a couple threes. He's going to clear this. So
yeah, I like that. I was just trying to. I'm having a little connection issue here, but I'm was curious to look at his here. I have it here. What he did in Boston in those, like, when they were down, when they were up 3-0, and then I'm just, because one of those was that 29. Oh no, game 3 was the 29-point game.
Yeah, that was the one.
But then even game 4 and game 5, he sat out game 5. Game 4 and game 6, 17 and 15. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, so that's good. The only thing I would say is keep an eye on the Tyler Hero news. He will eat into some of these Strus and Vincent minutes, but I don't even know if Hero's going to play. I feel like if he was okay to play, he would have come back already. But we'll see. Maybe they do. Last one I have is Kyle Lowry. Surprisingly, he was the most productive player on the team with a -4 rating. So that kind of tells you the whole story for the Heat. But played 30 minutes. He had 9 points, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals. So overall, pretty productive game for Lowry. What I like on him is a couple different things. I think you could play his rebound line at 2.5 rebounds, his assist line at 3.5 assists, or you could play his RA line at 7.5 RA. But I think probably for him, I'm going back to a play that we played earlier in the playoffs. I think it was against the Celtics, 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Put that parlay together, you actually get plus money, plus 115. So
that's nice.
Yeah, he's cleared this in 7 out of 8 games. 8 out of 8 games at home with 25 plus minutes. So I think it's a good play for another home game for Lowry.
Yeah, I like those 3 assists. He's done 20 of 23 this postseason with adjusting the assist line down to 3. That's very nice.
Yep, exactly. So that's all I had. Do you have anything else on the Heat?
No, I don't. I'm struggling on the Heat side here. I don't know why. Maybe that's just because I'm feeling confident in Denver, and I think the Heat's run may be coming to an end here.
Yeah, I think so. I think if you're really struggling, probably your best bet is to focus on Bam, because he's been the most consistent player in this series, and has a good track record against Denver. So, but I can't believe we're saying that about Bam, because he just killed us the whole regular season. So.
Yes. I can't believe the notification that I just saw on my desktop that pop up here that the Suns are looking to acquire Dame Lillard. Did you see this?
I mean, they got to be. They must have had a plan. But who are they going to trade for him? They have no assets left.
That's true. That's a good point. Yeah.
That's not going to work. So
campaign
anyway,
and Shamet.
Yeah, campaign and Shamet for Dame. That sounds fair. All right. So I think we're regressing. So we'll call it quits.
All right. Let's enjoy the game and let's make some money.